When I was pregnant, I studied for childbirth like it was a test. I was determined to have the best birth ever, and I wanted to learn enough to avoid the worst. I nearly gave birth in the back of an Uber in 2015. I had what's called a precipitous labor. That just means it was fast. My water broke while I was making breakfast. I was holding my daughter about 2 hours later. It was really fast. I was happy, but also shocked. I hadn't had time to adjust to the idea of her leaving my body. But also, I wasn't at all prepared for what would happen once she did. I was a wreck. I was aching and leaking, and I couldn't walk without bleeding or pain. I tore during labor, got an infection. My daughter had trouble breastfeeding, which led to painful knots and mastitis in my breasts and cracked and bleeding nipples. I remember thinking between the pediatricians, lactation consultants, my family, myself, there were at least half a dozen people taking care of my baby. Who was supposed to take care of me? It turns out that the healthcare professionals who keep such a close watch on you through pregnancy and delivery vanish after birth. As one doctor put it to me, America treats new moms like candy wrappers. Once the candy is out of the wrapper is thrown away. 4 million women give birth in America each year. 95% of them have a health risk or need in the weeks and months after delivery. Now, if you deliver in a hospital, you'll likely be discharged between 48 and 72 hours later. Your next contact with the healthcare system is a visit to the doctor or the midwife who delivered you, but 6 weeks after you've given birth. You get the green light for sex, exercise, and birth control. But that's about it. The fact is, childbirth is a major body event, and not properly recovering from it can have life-changing consequences, months, years, even decades after delivery. Consequences like depression and anxiety, incontinence, and chronic pain. I herniated a disc in my back about a year after my daughter was born. I couldn't sit without shooting pain for months. It was caused in part by an undiagnosed diastasis recti, a separation of my abdominal muscles caused by pregnancy and childbirth. Doctors don't check for it. I'd never even heard of it until I had it. I'm a journalist, so I decided to research it to figure out what I could do to heal. But practically all I could find was advice on how to flatten my mummy tummy and lose the baby weight. It was maddening to look for help and instead find an extension of the body shame women experience throughout their lives. The healthcare we don't get is hurting us. It's costing us, and it's even killing us. In America, the maternal mortality rate is the highest in the developed world, and it is climbing. Depression and anxiety are the most common post-birth complications, and they often go undiagnosed and untreated. The problem is so systemic that even well-meaning healthcare professionals are contributing to it. Allison Yarrow, an obstetrician and champion of healthcare for postpartum women, told me the story of a Korean woman whose baby she delivered in a North Carolina hospital. So the hospital staff told Dr. Stubbe that the woman refused to eat, leave her hospital bed, or diaper her baby. Maybe she was depressed or psychotic. Well, it turns out that in Korea, new moms eat a special diet. Their families come and care for them. So of course this new mom wasn't walking around, changing diapers, eating hospital food. Isn't it crazy that in America, a new mom waiting for the care that she needs after childbirth is considered psychotic? In other countries and cultures, women rest and recover for a month or more. In China, it's called confinement. In Mexico, quarantinia. Nurses or midwives visit women in their homes after delivery in Western Europe. France pays for postpartum physical therapy. Nordic countries offer generous paid leave. In America, we go back to work with pads wedged in our underwear because our recovering bodies are still bleeding. Women are not candy wrappers. We deserve to give birth and recover with support and dignity. Now that's going to require change on many levels, from our healthcare system to the way our culture degrades mothers and undervalues motherhood, to the way all of this impacts how new moms prepare or don't prepare for the biggest physical transformation of their lives. So maybe one day you want to have kids. Maybe you're pregnant or trying to get pregnant now. You could move to Korea, but that seems a little extreme. Now you know about this problem, and you can do things differently. You can demand the care that you will need as a new mom. You can love, support, advocate for an expecting or new mom in your life. You can tell her what I've told you. And if you've given birth, don't just share your birth story. Share your after-birth story, and not just with your friends. Share it with your boss. Share it with your congressperson. Childbirth is an extraordinary human experience. It's one of the best things I've ever done. I even did it again. But this is about so much more than the kind of experience we want new moms to have. It's about the kind of society we want to live in. I want to live in one that values women's lives, bodies, and contributions. I want to live in a society that cares for moms after birth with the same love and compassion that it shows babies after they're born. Thank you.